Professor, what is the content of your course here in Panama?
Here in Panama, what I teach is the first accounting class in the MBA program. So it's really introducing students to financial statements and to looking at internally generated financial information that they have to understand just for managing the business. The approach that I take is to tell students, many of whom are scared by looking at all of the numbers, I tell them that the financial statements actually are telling the story about the company's last year or 2 years, and that the real art is in learning how to interpret a story that the financial statements tell. So instead of focusing on just the numbers, which are very scary, you focus on understanding what story the company has to tell. Have they done well? Have they done badly? What are their prospects for the future? That's the approach that I take to teaching the accounting class, and that seems to help students get over the fear of the numbers, which I completely understand.
Perfect. Professor, we know one of your areas of expertise is identity theft.
Right. I actually have been working for the last 43 years. So 30 of those years was actually in practice as a practicing accountant and auditor. And so when I just made the decision to go from the practice side to the academic side of the profession, I wanted to do my research in something that would be interesting, not just for people who are in the academic world, but also for people who are in the practicing world. And identity theft just turned out to be the right topic at the right time. I got my PhD back in 2008, and so it's not really called identity theft anymore. It's called cybercrime and cybersecurity. That's how it has evolved. So that's still where my interest lies, is with understanding cybercrime and investigating it, helping people to improve cybersecurity, but all from a financial perspective.
Okay, Professor, what can you tell us about the article, Are You Really Someone Else? Determining the Credibility of Identity Documents?
Yes, that was really related to my dissertation for doing the PhD. The purpose of my dissertation was to look at identity documents that are handled and investigated by people who are in the financial world, banks, credit unions. And I wanted to find out if there were specific characteristics of those identity documents that made them more believable. So that article you're talking about was a spin-off from my dissertation, just pointing out that even though you may have identity documents, you have to understand the work that goes into making sure that identity documents are credible. Otherwise, I can present an identity document to say I'm Oscar Leon, and I may have a driver's license and other documents that seem to suggest I'm Oscar Leon, but of course I'm not, in spite of the fact that all of my identity documents say that I am. So that was the purpose for that title, Are You Really Who You Think You Are?